Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Destiny here. Welcome back to my channel. As always, I wanted to come to you guys with something informational, and I haven't done a video like this in a long time, so I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. I get so many questions about setting powder, under eye powder, facial setting powder, HD powder, any kind of makeup setting. I get a lot of questions about what's my favorite, what's the best, how do you use them, which ones are great for dark skin. So I'm going to go ahead and start with two of my longtime favorites. And if you guys watch my channel, then you probably know, or you may suspect, that it's Dermablend. Actually, I have two powders here from Dermablend. I have been a Dermablend fan for years. I first found out about them when I was working in New York and I was a Dwayne Reed beauty aid, and they had this powder there, and the one that they had was the Vichy version. And so many people, like people who would come in who are makeup artists and stuff, and they would buy it, and I'd be like, okay, so what is this powder about? What is it for? Not only just the powder, but they had the makeup too, but this is about the powder. They'd be like, oh my God, girl, if you're gonna do your makeup, if you're gonna do your eyebrows, if you're gonna do your lipstick, you need to use Dermablend. It has 16-hour wear, it's finely milled, no flashback, blah, 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 blah. So I went ahead and I tried the powder, and the first success I had with this powder was using it on my eyebrows. That was a recommendation from a makeup artist. He was like, do your eyebrows, puff that on your eyebrows, let it sit, brush it away, spritz it, and your eyebrows will last for days. Absolutely, positively right. I have two colors here. I have transparent or original translucent, and then I have warm saffron. Warm saffron is more of a color that I would use under my eye area rather than all over my face, and then I use the original transparent all over, no flashback. It works so well. I have had nights where I've worn this out over my foundation to a party, gone home, passed out on my face, and have woken up and my makeup almost looks better than before I passed out. So yes, definitely a huge fan of Dermablend. Great prices. You get a nice amount. You get 1 ounce, which is 28 grams, and this is actually a L'Oreal brand, so just in case you guys wanted to know that, I am a big fan of Dermablend. They do have other colors, but I definitely recommend saffron if you're a deeper complexion and you're more warm, or you like to warm up your center with a warm concealer or foundation, because it is more of a warm color. But it would also work, I believe, on olive tones because it's warm, but it's just not too much. It's like a very, very, very pale, warm brown rather than it being like a stark yellow. So moving from Dermablend, I have to go right to SACHA. If you guys have been watching my channel for the past few months, then you guys know that I am a Sasha Buttercup fan. The color of this is very similar to your traditional banana powders. MAC has one, Nye, NYX, very similar color, except for I like the fact that this one, especially on women of color, it doesn't ash. And you'll see the difference between like warm saffron and the banana. This is more cool, but still considered a warm, and this is just very, very warm. And sometimes pale warm powders can kind of ash out on darker skin if it doesn't have that kind of little bit of an orange to it, but this one plays so nice with dark skin. And if you are afraid of these really, really pale powders, what I recommend you do is use them in the very, very high points of your eyes and anywhere in the hollows of your face, or if you're really trying to make your cheekbone pop just a little bit, you can go ahead and reverse contour. Absolutely love it. If you're the type of person who really, you're just not into a pale highlight, I would go ahead and recommend something like Topaz, especially for a deeper skin complexion and you're not extremely warm. Like I myself, I'm not extremely warm, but I'm just not extremely cool, and I always warm up my center. So majority of my powders will be warm, but they can be warm for cooler skin tones because I am deep enough to kind of transition both ways. Big fan of the Sephora. Now this isn't a setting powder per se, it's actually a foundation, but it acts like a MAC mineralized skin finish, and I absolutely love it for that reason. It's baked, you can use it wet or dry, so if you have a little bit of a moist sponge, you can go ahead and just dip it on the mound and just go under your eye, and it just really gives a really nice, I'll show you, dewiness, and it's just smooth. I love powders that offer a dewy or shimmery finish, but doesn't get caught up and doesn't really highlight your pores. And I have another powder for that that's gonna be great. So I was showing you really quick Topaz from Nye, and then of course I have Banana. And yeah, you'll see here that Banana and Buttercup are very similar shades. But Sasha's product, it's just so soft. It's butter. It's like Buttercup. Exactly, it's the perfect name. So again, this is Topaz, and then the other one is Banana. And then the reason I really wanted to do this is because I usually use a little bit of a powder that I mixed up myself. So in this powder, in this little container here, the one that I created for myself, I have the Dermablend. I have some Cover FX. I have IT Cosmetics, which I'll show you in a second. And I also believe I have a little bit of Topaz from Nye. So one that is really, really great for pores that I actually have on my face today is IT Cosmetics. And this is their Bye Bye Pores HD powder, and I'm a really, really big fan of this because this is the kind of powder, just like Makeup Forever HD, that you dust on your face. And I usually use like the Smashbox fan brush. I'll take it in the cap and just dust it everywhere where I have pores or texture or an uneven skin plane, and it just makes everything look smooth, and it just lays in those pores and reflects light outward, so it doesn't look like you have a divot, or it just doesn't offer, it's just beautiful. Definitely one of my favorite HD powders. Another setting powder that I'm a fan of is the Cover FX Setting Effects Light. And the reason I'm a big fan of this is because it's very, very finely milled. It's a translucent setting powder. However, it almost acts like the Hourglass powder, the way it gives you just a beautiful sheen. And sometimes it's really hard with white powders, especially on dark skin. That sheen can almost look ashy, but this just gives this a very soft blur. It's angelic. Like, I'm a really, really big fan of this. I got this a long time ago. I'm not even sure if they make this formulation anymore, but you can just see, you can see by looking at the cap that it gives a very, very pretty finish. Like, I'm gonna go and take a little bit, and this is how I'll generally do like a finishing powder. Like, I'll use my setting powder like Dermablend, and then I'll go in with something like this to kind of really affect the texture. Now, I have so much powder on right now, you really won't be able to see, but you will be able to tell that it doesn't give a harsh white cast, because while this is white, it's kind of like a warm white, like an off-white kind of color. So I have had this for a very long time. It's definitely one of my favorites, and it just gives your skin such a nice sheen, and it really blends in. And none of these powders that I'm going to show you give flashback that I've noticed. I'm not the biggest fan of flash photography, but I'm pretty sure that I would have noticed if any of these gave hard flashback. So now generally I don't set my makeup with a colored powder because I feel like it'll still give off color, and I feel like generally setting powders are translucent. Don't hold me to that. Everybody has their own particular way that they like to do their makeup and things that they'll like. But one thing that I do like, sometimes I'll use this over top my foundation, and then over top this I'll dust like a Dermablend or something like this. This is Smashbox, and this is Halo Dark, and I use this because it's not really that dark, and it doesn't really, if you use it lightly on your brush, it's not going to give you a crap load of color payoff. And I still have the protective powder film on there. I'll just go in with a light brush, and again I'll just dust it over my foundation or anything I want. And I like this because this is their Halo powder, so it's not going to give you a dry, stark matte finish. I mean, it is going to give you a matte finish, but it's going to give your skin a little bit of a glow, and it's just really, really, it's just a beautiful product. And it's very, I was going to say finely milled, but this actually is one of the products that you grind freshly yourself. Another skin tone powder that I'm a fan of is from Cover FX, and this is not exactly my skin tone, but it is a color that I would use in the center of my face. I also like to take this powder and I use it as cleanup. So if I was doing my contour and it got a little crazy, I would just come in with the brush and I would just clean it up. If I had a little bit of a darkness still here, Just come in with my brush and I clean it up. This is also something that you can use to kind of set your under eye, though it's not a setting powder and it probably doesn't have a lot of the properties that setting powders have. It is something that you can use to finish your makeup from liquid to powder. Okay, so I definitely had to show you the NYX pressed banana powder because this thing, I'm a big fan of this. The fact that it's pressed and it really just gives you like this blank, smooth, line-free appearance. It's a really, really good powder, and I love the fact that it's in a compact, this little small compact like that. And I love to take these kind of powders and I will just put them right high up in my under eye. And then you go in and you fan it out and it really, really elevates your face. Just gonna blend it away softly. Blend it out. And it really, really gives you a fresh, wide awake type of effect. Translucent, starts off a little pale. I like to use it in areas where there's dark shadows and I'll let it bake. And then I'll brush it away and it'll give your face just the most lifted, elevated appearance. It's really, really great powder. I love the fact that you can brush it right away. It doesn't leave too much of an ash. It really gives your face a smooth, elevated appearance. It's just a way to play with light. This is another powder that you can come in here, clean up with, let it bake for a few seconds. I would say that if you're having a hard time with your powder, the brush you're using might be too dense and you might be baking too long. If you feel like you're not able to get a sensible appearance out of it, or maybe it just does too much, don't let it bake too long and don't cake it on. Not that I have anything against that if that's what you want. I just hear a lot of people say, oh my God, I can't use that powder, it's too pale, and it makes me look really bad. And sometimes it's just like if it's a little bit too heavy, give it a spritz, let it calm down a bit, and then it's going to look really, really good. I have another inexpensive I have another inexpensive compact, and this one is from NYC, and I really, really like this one. I like a good compact. I like a nice translucent powder. This is not as finely milled as a lot of the other powders, and as you can see, it kind of did seal itself a little bit, but this one really, really comes in handy if you're looking to just set your makeup really quick. You're out and about, you're on the go, you're wearing a BB cream or something that's not really, you know, that requires like a heavy set. I really, really like this. It comes in handy. It's super inexpensive. It really gives you that smooth look. A lot of the powders really give you a nice smooth look. This is matte. That's why I like the Cover FX powder, because it gives you a smooth look, but it also gives you still shine, still brilliant, still light reflection, and it really makes your skin look really healthy. Last but not least, I have two HD powders here, one from NYX and one from Makeup Forever. A lot of these HD powders are almost one in the same with the way they're blended, or the way they're milled down. They have a lot of the similar texture, etc. These two, I would say, perform very closely. I want to do a little bit more monitoring. I would say that this one probably blends a little bit more better into the skin faster, disappears faster. This one you have to blend a little bit and work a little bit, but the price, of course, is a lot more attractive than the Makeup Forever if you don't have the dough for that. And you can see how fine it is. It just comes up as a mist. And don't get me wrong, this is really, really finely milled. Like it's just really, really good. You can just I actually, after you highlight and do everything, sometimes your highlight can bring up texture. So sometimes I'll go over my highlight in an HD powder and just let it collect and build up in the little areas along the bumps, etc., and really let it help to kind of redirect and rediffuse the light. Makes everything a lot smoother. Here is the Makeup Forever, and I like this powder so much to the point where if you have a foundation that maybe just doesn't give you the best finish, it's too loose or it's not pigmented enough, what I would recommend you do is take a little bit of a skin tone powder, scrape it into your foundation, take a little bit of this Makeup Forever HD powder, dump that into your foundation. You are gonna have the smoothest, just plump it, it really has those little micro pigments and those little micro spears of product that really help to, like, look, like I have on all my favorite powders right now. Powder after powder, they layer nicely. I don't even know what to say. They're just really, really, all the ones that I picked, I really feel like I stand by. I really feel like I could take any one of these. The Sephora and the Cover FX give you that nice glow. The Dermablend give you that long lasting set. The Nye I like because they give you so many different varieties of colors. I have every color from banana to topaz and ebony and just so many different tones. The SACHA is so soft and it's that nice beautiful pale yellow, and it doesn't kind of like wash your skin out, and it doesn't make you look pale and dead. So yeah, that is like my collection of all of my favorite face powders. Hopefully this helps you, especially if you are darker complected. I know it can be so nerve-wracking and you're just like, oh my god, I don't know what I need, this is too much. For budget reasons, I would definitely go ahead and recommend NYX, NYC, and then Nye to be on a budget. And then from there, I'd probably go Dermablend, has a really good price range. Sephora is getting up there, and then I would say that Makeup Forever and Smashbox are probably the more expensive powders along with Cover FX, but none of these powders are over about $30, I think. So yeah, these are a couple of my favorite brushes that I like to use to apply them. Sometimes I'll take a fat fan brush like this and just smear it in the Makeup Forever, and I'll just drench it downward in a downward motion in my face. So that's a really great one. This one's also great for highlight. This is great for contour, highlight, and also under eye powder. Just a nice sweep in this direction is going to give you just a beautiful under eye set. So that's bomb. This is an NYX dual fiber, which I really like to go in and just press powder in, especially in my pore area. If I'm looking really textured in here, I'll take something like the NYX. That's really great for pores. Or maybe the Nye Pale Yellow to really just get in there in those shadows and smooth everything else out. Smashbox fan brush, I absolutely love to just dust powder all over and then spray and then maybe do like another dusting really nicely. This one here is from Sonia Kashuk, and it's a fat powder brush. Great for all over, great for setting, great for foundation as well. This one I got from Walmart years ago from their HD collection, and I like this for highlight. That's what I use today, and I like it for this area in the eye as well. Of course, you can use a moist beauty blender sponge as I demonstrated, and you can really come in the areas where you have like shadows or a darkness or a divot and just really press it. Just really press it in and let it set and let it become your light. All right, I do have a video coming up about my blonde faux locks. I know a lot of people have had a lot of questions. How did I do it? What colors did I use? And all that good stuff. I will have a little bit of information in the bottom bar, but I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that this helped you. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed this free content. All right, guys, so as always, I want to thank you so much for commenting, rating, and subscribing. I'll be in touch, and hopefully you'll do the same. Bye, guys.